Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, of course, we're going to be discussing the performances of Josh Giddey as of late. As you guys know, we're big Josh Giddey supporters here. We think he's a guy who was misutilized in OKC, not to his fault or Coach Mark Dagnall's. It's just how the cards fell. And I wanted today to talk about the fact that he has been on an unbelievable stretch for the Chicago Bulls and is seemingly putting together a very, very good stretch for this team. So let's get right into today's video. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you expect Josh Giddey to do? And from my understanding, he's a guy who does want like $30 million a year. And would you guys pay him that? I think that's the big question we want to find out here. And let's get right into it. Like and subscribe for more content here. So Josh Giddey was a guy that people were starting to write off, but his recent surge for the Chicago Bulls have been nothing short of impressive. And I think if you look at the eye test of the tape and then look at the stats and rankings, I think it'll paint a clear picture for his growing influence. The kid is just 22 years old, and not only is he putting up some impressive individual numbers, but he's also playing a crucial role for a Bulls team that, despite having struggles this year, has shown flashes of potential of not needing a full teardown. So let's get into this. Through 51 games, all starts, Josh Giddey's averaging 12.2 points, 7 rebounds, and 6.5 assists while shooting almost 45% from the field and just under 35% from three. His ability to impact the game as a playmaker who will table set for his teammates, a guy who can score inside or out, as well as being a really good rebounder, as he's averaging 5.5 rebounds from the defensive side and almost 2 offensive boards a game, which ranks among the best for a guard and is huge for a Bulls team that's the fifth worst total rebounding team in the league at 45 boards a game and the third worst offensive rebound percentage at 21.4%. And I think Josh Giddey's always been known as a really good passer, high basketball IQ, and averaging 6.5 assists per game ranks among the top 20 in the NBA. And his ability to consistently create for his teammates is something that's huge for a Bulls offense that ranks 20th in offensive rating of 112.3. With Zach LaVine no longer on the roster, the Bulls have leaned on Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and obviously Pat Williams being out as well. Nikola Vucevic is another one who's been there to generate consistent offense. And Josh Giddey's recent 5-game stretch, where he joined Larry Bird and Magic Johnson as the only players to record 100 points, 50 rebounds, and 45 assists in such a span, is obviously a testament to like how well-rounded his game is, especially on the offensive side. Against the Knicks, he had 27 points and 16 boards, and I think that's the kind of versatility that's rare for a player at his age, and a guy that shows that he really could be a franchise cornerstone for a team. The Bulls season obviously has been a mixed bag. They're 22-33 this season. They're 10th in the Eastern Conference, which would have them as a play-in team. And their offense ranks 10th in points per game with 116. But the consistency has been the biggest thing. They are the second worst in an opponent's points per game at 120.7. Fourth worst in defensive rating with almost 117 being their rating. So Josh Giddey, obviously, he's not terrible at defense, but he's not going to be a guy who's mitigating their struggles on that end of the floor. But their 20th ranked offense and 18th in turnover percentage, with Josh Giddey averaging basically 6-3 assist to turnover ratio, is something that he needs to work on with his ball security. And we've talked about it before. Their opponent effective field goal percentage is the second worst at 54.5%. Opponent's rebounds per game is second worst at 46.9%. And he is a guy who's going to help on the glass and his development, especially if with Kobe White, who's an 18 point per game scorer, who can play on or off ball. Obviously, you hope that Patrick Williams, if they do keep him, is going to at least continue to be an efficient two-way player when he's healthy. But Giddey's ability to contribute as a rebounder, playmaker, and to not be an absolute cone on defense makes him a decent complementary piece to build around if you don't want to really tear it down. And obviously him playing like 30 minutes a night and his 51 starts obviously show that they want him to be a core part of this team. And I think with his growth being a catalyst to the Bulls' resurgence, if he continues to improve from 3-point range as he's at league average, and I think he's just a guy who fits the style of play, the third fastest in pace at 103. His rebounding is going to help a team that's been a poor rebounding team, especially into the next coming years. And they're 8th in assists with almost 29 a game. So to me, I think it fits, it works, especially with a team that with Matas or is it, it's not, is it Mateus? It's Mateus, right? Mateus, or I've heard it's not Matas. Either way, Bazuelis, Josh Giddey, Ayo DeSumo, Lonzo Ball, Mr. Kobe White are all pieces that I think are good and dandy and fun to play around with. So to me, if you're a Bulls fan, I would be hopeful for the rest of the season. Now, I honestly think you guys should just pull a Atlanta Hawks and just make the plan. And if you guys feel like it's not worth it, you can lose and still end up with maybe the #1 pick like the Hawks did. And I think that's the new strategy to do if you're a team like the Bulls, because why not? Now, if you look at the NBA standings, behind the Bulls, 2 games are the Sixers. Do the Sixers really want to make the playoffs this year? I don't know. I think they're waving the towel this year. The Hornets, the Wizards, the Raptors, and the Nets are not threats to make the playoffs. I mean, the Raptors could have an insane stretch. The Bulls are also 7 games away from being below 500. They're 4 games away from the 9th seed. Like, they might just be forced into being the 10th seed because the next 5 teams behind them are significantly worse. So that is one thing to understand, that it's not even it might not even be their choice to be a playing team or not. It just might be what the cards deal them because the other teams are that much worse. Now, I want to hear your guys' opinions down below in the comment section. Do you think Billy Donovan stays? Regardless if Billy Donovan stays, I think they like Josh Giddey. You'd have to assume that potentially at some point they're going to go ahead and this team, especially with the ownership, I think they're really complacent with just being a fringe playoff team because then they can just sell tickets. That's the sad part about this. But that's my thoughts on this one, guys. I want to hear your thoughts down below if you guys agree with me or not. But yeah, that's it. Peace out.